He made it.
Yeah, it's because I have a metal arm. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So on day 2, or day 3, depending on how you want to count things, we got up bright and early for Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom is definitely one of our personal favorites. We really like the immersive nature theme and overall animal vibe. Unfortunately, with Animal Kingdom, no matter where you're staying on property, you have to take a bus. I hope they expand the transportation options in the future, but I do think that the reason they haven't is because they want the animals to be as undisturbed as possible.
So we're walking into Animal Kingdom this morning, just hanging out, chilling. Carlos got stopped for a bag check. But yeah, so far so good. Very nice weather this morning. I hope like it stays cool like this, but I doubt it. Just waiting on Carlos.
He made it.
Yeah, it's because I have a metal arm. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. What? Probably the batteries, no? Yeah.
So battery packs.
If you have battery packs in your backpack, they're probably going to stop you for a bag check. But if you don't, and you're basically naked like me, you can just walk right through. But yeah, we're going to head into Animal Kingdom this morning. It's going to be a good day. I hope it stays cool because this park is always super hot. But we'll talk soon. I could see them in the future doing a Skyliner station from the All-Stars through Blizzard Beach to Coronado Springs and then over to Animal Kingdom. They could also go over to the already existing Hollywood Studios station from there. And if they were to do all of that, you'd be able to take the Skyliner basically everywhere except for Magic Kingdom. And if they really, really wanted to, they could go directly up from Coronado Springs to Magic Kingdom, but I doubt anything like that will ever happen. Disney has mentioned that with the success of the already existing Skyliner, it's likely that eventually they'll expand it, but we'll see how the next few years go. But anyway, Animal Kingdom is also home to a couple of really good shows, Festival of the Lion King being one of them, and right now they're also running Kite Tales. I know this has become a little bit of a meme lately. There's a little bit of comedy in it because of how the kites land and overall the different like glitches that happen throughout the show. I personally really like Kite Tales and I hope they keep it around as long as humanly possible, but I will say it's something that you definitely have to see in person because it really doesn't show well in videos. So we're waiting for the rest of our party, but I just found out that Expedition Everest is actually open today. For some reason I thought it was in refurbishment already, but I looked it up and it's saying January 4th, so cool deal. Yeah, we lucked out. I thought we were going to miss out on that one, so we can do the whole mountain range this trip. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk soon. The first place we went to was Flight of Passage. For Flight of Passage, that's either something that you want to rope drop, as in go on immediately when you get there in the morning, or wait until the afternoon when people start to park hop other places, and then the queue time tends to get pretty tolerable in the late afternoon. We decided to rope drop it because we decided we were going to park hop in the afternoon evening, because while we were enduring our extra long travel days, the rest of the family actually got to go to Magic Kingdom, and they felt that they didn't get a chance to do everything they wanted to do there, and since Carlos, his mom, and I hadn't been there yet, we decided that that was going to be our afternoon plan, which of course you'll see later in the video. The Land of Avatar is very much in the back of the park, so we had to walk through a good portion of the rest of the park to get there. And as you can see, this park is just very, very scenic. I don't think in terms of vegetation and overall, like, natural elements, any of the other 3 parks compare to this. The Flight of Passage line was a little over an hour, but they actually had us looping back along the river going towards Asia, which I don't think I've seen the line ever go back that far, so I was a little bit worried. We didn't quite rope drop this one because we got there a little bit late, but even with it being posted over an hour, the queue moved pretty quickly. I think from the time we actually got in line to getting off the ride was a little less than an hour, so the queue time was probably about 50-55 minutes, which I think is totally worth it for such a good ride. As a matter of fact, I think this was the
fan favorite of pretty much everyone in our group. I personally like Soarin' better, which I know those are two very different types of rides, but they're similar in concept. And the thing I don't like about Flight of Passage is the fact that you have to wear 3D glasses. I don't really have a problem with 3D glasses in general, but I do think that especially while wearing a mask and what have you, they fog up really easily. And there's also like a blur effect around the edges of the glasses, which to me kind of breaks the immersion a little bit, which is saying something because of how vivid and graphic and immersive this ride is. This is definitely one of the best rides on Walt Disney World property. Unfortunately for Flight of Passage, Dexter was a little bit too short, so we did the rider swap, which meant Maritza, my sister-in-law, got to ride the ride twice, and it worked out because the second time it was a solo trip with her and her husband, which is arguably pretty romantic. And we found out they had a lunch reservation, so we decided to order a drink and some cheeseburger pods while we waited for them. I don't know why we only got footage of the beers and not the actual cheeseburger pods, but I guess you can see where my priorities lie. Although I will tell you that those cheeseburger pods are bomb.com, so if you're ever in Animal Kingdom and want a snack, I really can't talk those up enough. While they ate lunch, we decided to hit up Expedition Everest because, as you saw earlier, I was quite excited that that ride was open. I misunderstood the refurbishment schedule for that ride. If you don't know, it'll be closed down in mid-January for several months, and we'll see what kind of updates and changes they make to it. The line for Everest is rarely too long. I think we waited maybe 20-25 minutes at the most. And I took this picture of me with my mother-in-law, Natalia, right before the train dispatched. And I found out she's a little bit of a thrill seeker as she really liked this one. And then as we were exiting Everest, we noticed that right across the pathway they were having the kite tail show. So we raced over there for that and caught the last couple of minutes of it. Why is Florida so humid? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the heat, but man, that's a lot of wetness. Moisture? Moist? Who in the comments doesn't like moist? Let me know. Oh my god. Anyway, we're at Starbucks. Well, Creature Comforts, right? To get some Starbucks. Yeah. Some of the people I'm with needed like a caffeine fix, so I'm waiting outside. I'm gonna get a tea, so I maybe can melt a little less. But man, I need to get out more. I need more humidity in my life just to get used to it. Probably, if you live in a humid place, let me know. Are you just used to it by now, or is it miserable for you too? We'll talk soon. They came out with the Starbucks and they messed up our order, so we ended up with like a free Frappuccino or something, and then my tea was smaller than it was supposed to be, but anyway, it was nice and refreshing to have some cool drinks to sip on, and we sat there for a good 10-15 minutes, just kind of winding down a little bit, but we soon realized that their lunch reservation was going to take a little bit longer than we were all expecting, so we decided it would be a good idea to go on Kali River Rapids. I'm pretty sure I rode this when we went for the first time back in 2013, but I couldn't remember the overall vibe of it. I know Disney's no stranger to getting you really wet when it comes to rapids rides. One of the splashiest experiences I've ever had was on the River Rapids ride in California Adventure, but we weren't prepared for how wet we were going to get on this. Basically everyone in our raft was soaked by the end of it, including us of course, but luckily we only got wet in areas that would easily dry. One thing I can't stand is if my socks get wet, so I was happy they did not. And as we were exiting our raft, we got a text from the rest of the group that they were done with their lunch reservation, and they wanted to meet up to do the Kilimanjaro Safari, which obviously is a must-do if you're going to be at Animal Kingdom.
And I think it's about time we got going to see what we can find.
Kilimanjaro safaris is always something I enjoy a lot. I was surprised being that it was the middle of the day and how hot it was that there were so many animals out and active. I have had morning rides where I've gotten more activity than this, but I've also had some rides where it seemed like all the animals were away hiding from us. After the safaris, we decided to hop over to Magic Kingdom, which was insanely busy at this point. And pretty much immediately upon entering, we were greeted by a cavalcade. I know a lot of people prefer having a set time for parades and what have you, but I actually am a huge fan of the cavalcades. From what I understand, this is something that came along as a COVID provision, because the idea is you can present the characters on floats at random times of day, and the sort of mystery of it makes it so that crowds won't form as much. Parades, fireworks, and entertainment are coming back to Walt Disney World, so I'm not sure if the cavalcades will remain much longer. I personally would like to see them mix in a cavalcade or two throughout the day, along with the parades and everything else, but we'll have to see how that goes. After the cavalcade, we made our way over to the backside of Fantasyland and hopped on the Little Mermaid ride. And then from there, we noticed the Tomorrowland Speedway didn't have too long of a wait, so we got in line for that as well.
So yeah, crowds are definitely back at Walt Disney World. This is kind of insane, actually. But we're having fun, so that's all that matters. But yeah, I would recommend, if you can, come in the off season, because coming for the 50th celebration was, I don't want to say a mistake, but it wasn't not a mistake, you know? But anyway, I love this park. It's so beautiful. We'll talk soon.
Obviously, Disney Springs is the absolute best place to get any souvenirs you want at Walt Disney World. You can find some cool stuff in the parks as well, but chances are the vast majority of everything can be found at Disney Springs, so we hopped over there and spent way too much money, as it usually goes. But then it was time to go back to the room. We were, of course, exhausted after a long day of fun in the sun.
All right. Well, hi, friends. We're done for the day. It is basically midnight right now, and we just got back from Disney Springs, did some shopping, had some dinner at what was the restaurant that we ate at? Wine Bar George. Highly recommend. Definitely one of my favorites here at Walt Disney World. And yeah, so pretty good day. We were at Animal Kingdom earlier. It was packed. Definitely, if you're gonna come visit, come in the off season, and if you can, because crowds are crazy right now because of the 50th. I've probably mentioned that a couple times already, but I'll keep reiterating. But anyway, yeah, today was a great day. So much fun. My feet are tired. But we're gonna get some Z's. Going to Epcot tomorrow, so we can just sleep in a little bit because that park opens a little bit later. And yeah, so we'll talk then.
I want to thank you all so much for watching, especially if you're still here with me this late in the video. I know it's not always easy to stay engaged in a full day's worth of content, so just know that I really appreciate you. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, all those things that help the YouTube algorithm and allow us to grow, and you all have a great night.